What's up guys, Ricky here with a tutorial video on how to black wash. I've been getting some comments and things of that nature on just, what is black wash, how do you do these customs, etc. So instead of telling you like I used to do, I will actually show you. So what we're gonna do is I have a few little test projects that we can try. So first we're gonna do this little piece of, this is from a McFarland bat cycle. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna turn this into this, right? With just black wash. Pretty cool. So that's gonna be the goal, and I'll show you kind of how to do that. Then what we'll do is we'll do that one, and then I'll show you how to do this into the Mandarin. So I have an extra body sponsor to do that. So real quick, so I'll show you what this looks like. So you can see the black wash that kind of went through here. See all the cool black wash designs on here. And look at all this detail that came on this spawn Mandarin. Like they put cracks in the metal. And it's crazy that all this stuff is hidden, like you'd have no idea until you black wash, which is very cool. So you can see, so what we're gonna do is talk about how to do that. So, and then I have a Mandarin body that has not been black washed, and we will black wash this and I'll show you the process. So just remember, first thing you want to do before you start these projects, especially if you're doing an action figure, is you need to scrub it down first. You need to wash it, and I use a degreaser soap, so like a Dawn dish soap or something like that. And I scrub it down pretty good, just because there is aftermarket grease that gets put on these figures, and it's really hard to black wash because it tends to bead up and it doesn't really stick very well. So that's the first thing you got to do, is wash the project. And then after that, it's as easy as making your black wash. So this is all I'm doing. I'm sure some of you out there, I've heard plenty of people using like legit black wash that you can buy, and that's, fair, and it's probably better than what I use. But if you're like me and you just want to be frugal, all I do is I take basically a black paint. So in this, I took, I didn't use Craftsmart, I don't think, but a black paint and just water, and that is it. So what I do is I just pour a little bit in there. You can measure it out if you want to. I don't. I just pour it in there, and then I add water to it to where it's full, shake it up, and then I just test it out. So you can test it out on a scrap piece of, scrap action figure, whatever. But what you want to do is find that good consistency. So this one's pretty dark, but it's going to be pretty good. So what I'll do is I will show you the process now, and we'll start with the bone piece first, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we go. Basically all I'm doing is I'm just trying to fill it in. You can put it on pretty thick, and just it's filling up all the creases and just making sure that it kind of fills that void, right? And then you can wipe it off after, and that's what I'm going to do. But you can keep it like this if you want it to look really old and kind of something a little more weathered. You don't have to wipe off the black wash, but I'll show you what that looks like. So basically we're just applying it. We're gonna cover it completely. And if the project doesn't look good as is, that's okay, because it's gonna look better, and I'll show you how to do that. In the meantime, right, so we're just covering it up real easily. Okay. And we are almost finished already. So first the final touches here, where my finger was. Okay. And now it's all covered. And actually it looks pretty cool just even like that without anything else. So so you will make a mess. You might want to put something down. I didn't put anything down here because I just scrub it off after. It comes off tables pretty good. Now it's going to be the drying process. So a few things you can do. So what I'm going to do is get some of these thicker parts kind of out real quick. Basically just dabbing off the brush and just going through, because those thick parts are going to take a while to dry. Okay, and then you can do a few things. You can take an air dryer or blow dryer and dry it that way, or what I'm gonna do is just let it naturally dry. So that's gonna be where most of the time comes from this. So, right, so that was pretty easy. So black wash, scoot that out of the way. Now what I'll do is I will do the Mandarin spawn here. So you can see what that looks like. Okay, and then you can double check to make sure it's completely covered. And this one is. So I'll find a good place for it to balance. And then I'll show you the next stage in the process after we get it going. Okay, so it's almost dry. And I'll show you real quick. So take an up close look. So if you wanted to make it look very distressed, etc., you could leave it like this, right? And it's looking quite a bit better. So let's look at all these different pieces, right? Looking decent. Or you can do what I'm about to do and take a damp washcloth and get some of the extra black off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that now. You can see here, this is a good example, is when you rub this one down, you can see how the white is really showing through now. So those textures look really, really nice. See how it really is showing off those details just because I'm rubbing off that little extra layer. And the cool thing is this is the part where you get to decide how much you want to keep on there. And that's kind of, you know, part of the artwork, right? Part of the style. Cool. And if we haven't noticed, what I'm trying to do is get any of these extra spots. So you can see, like, so some of this stuff looks kind of unnatural, like right these dots around here, or just some of these little extra dots kind of throughout. And that's the stuff that I'm trying to take off to add some more realism, so we don't have just little extra black dots or smudges kind of on your artwork here. That looks a little better. Yeah, notice how this white just pops on here. Looks really good. Cool. And then we're left with this now. So look how much better that looks. Right, so we got all that detail. Now in the, you know, showing off those textures. And there's some parts I missed right here on the sides and back here, so I'll take care of those in a second, but, right. Looking good. So, right, so that was a quick way to do it and it didn't take very long, right? So the longest time was the dry time. So like I said, what I did is I waited for it to dry up just a little bit. You know, just basically set and as dry as you can be. You don't need to leave it overnight though, but just leave it for a little bit. And then, yeah, just rubbed it all off. And you can see like some of these parts look really, really cool. Now, like look at this, right? So look at how those pop. Yeah, and that's just from black wash and then wiping off the excess. So very cool. Okay, so let's we'll do the bone piece next. Okay, so here's the bone piece. So I mean, you could leave it like this and that looks actually pretty good, right? So you can leave it like that, or like I said, what I will do is I will start rubbing stuff off and you'll see it kind of just come to life here. See how this bone is really showing through now, and now it's just kind of, all those dark pieces are just, you know, kind of in the creases, and it kind of fades it a little bit too, so it's not so drastic of a change as well. And look at that. Look how easy that was too. It didn't take any time. So that's it, right? Just rubbing off the excess, right? And look at that. Looks really good. So yeah, so that's quick. Remember, this is what it looked like on the back side here. Now it looks like this. So that's just black wash only, right? So very cool. So now we took that, you know, to now looking like this. Very cool. So if you're all thinking about customizing your bat cycle or anything like that, sometimes a black wash is enough. So you can seal these too if you want to. So what I use is a matte Mod Podge spray. Just remember, this type of material gets sticky if you apply too much. So you can do that if you want to. Otherwise, you don't necessarily have to. Black wash tends to stay on here pretty good. So depending on what you're doing, if I use any type of paint, then I tend to like to seal it. And I just create, like, you know, a few feet of distance when I spray it, and I just put it on super lightly so it doesn't get sticky. With black wash, you really don't have to seal it if you don't want to, but if you do, just be careful with it. But yeah, you can also brush on sealer. I've done that before too. It's just even the matte, when you brush it on, is a little on the glossy side. So if you're not looking for gloss, but yeah, I don't think you'll necessarily have to seal it. So appreciate it. Thank you all for checking out the video. Hopefully this is helpful. Like I said, I wanted to do a tutorial video just for you all. Super simple, and right, just a black wash. Just water and black paint can make a huge difference on your project. So thank you all. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. We just passed 1,400 subscribers. Let's get to 2,000. And yeah, appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to customizing, and I will catch you all in the next video.